in the vicinity of Romania. The latest violation of our airspace took place yesterday, November 19th. Following another Russian attack on the Danube port infrastructure of Ukraine in the night of 16 to 17 November 2025, an LNG vessel took fire in the Ukrainian port of Izmail on the Danube, just across the border with Romania. In light of the increased risk of a potential explosion, the Romanian authorities took the extraordinary measure of temporarily evacuating 2 nearby villages to ensure the safety of their inhabitants. Russia is a permanent member of this body and is expected to be a guarantor of international law and the UN Charter, and such actions are unacceptable. We strongly condemn the repetitive nature of violations of the Romanian airspace by Russian drones, which poses serious risks for the safety of Romanian citizens, as well for the security of Romania and the region at large. Mr. President, it is imperative to exert massive pressure to stop this unprovoked war. Romania will fully implement the United States and international sanctions imposed on Lukoil. At the same time, the violation of EU restrictive measures is now a crime and can be punished with imprisonment according to a draft law adopted by the Romanian government just in the past few days. Our long-standing position since day one of the invasion of Ukraine is clear. The achievement of a comprehensive, just and lasting peace needs to be in line with the UN Charter and the principle of sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity. We simply cannot reward an aggressor which has a historical record of relapsing in breaching international law. We reiterate our continued support for Ukraine's independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders, as well as for its legitimate right to self-defense under the UN Charter. A full, immediate and unconditional ceasefire remains necessary as a first step towards a comprehensive, just and lasting peace. And just to echo the points made by the US Secretary of State today, it is high time to, quote, for an extensive exchange of serious and realistic ideas, unquote. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Romania for the statement. I'll now give the floor to the representative of Sweden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the honor to speak on behalf of the 5 Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and my own country, Sweden. We thank DPPA and OCHA for the briefings, and we commend the bravery and professionalism of all humanitarian workers. Mr. President, we meet in the wake of renewed, large-scale Russian attacks against civilians and civilian objects in Ukraine. The recent drone and missile barrage at Ternopil, Lviv, and Ivano-Frankivsk claimed at least 25 civilian lives, left hundreds injured, and caused extensive electricity blackouts. This is no coincidence. As we approach the 4th winter of Russia's full-scale invasion, we once again witness Russia's deliberate targeting of residential areas and energy infrastructure across Ukraine. In addition, Russia continues its attack on humanitarian personnel. On the 14th of October, 4 clearly marked UN trucks were struck by Russian drones as they delivered aid to Kherson. The UN has confirmed this attack. The purpose of Russia's recurring assaults is clear: to destabilize, to deepen humanitarian suffering, and to erode the resilience of the Ukrainian people. In essence, it's a systematic strategy of terror against civilians, aimed at fulfilling Russia's political objective, the subjugation of Ukraine or the annexation of its sovereign territory. Yet, as in previous years, Russia will fail. We remain in awe of Ukraine's resilience. Mr. President, on the 21st of October, the Independent International Commission on Inquiry released another report on Russia's continued violations of international humanitarian law. The report concludes that Russia's targeted drone strikes against civilians form part of a coordinated policy that not only constitutes war crimes, but even more gravely amounts to the crimes against humanity of murder and the forcible transfer of population. We cannot allow these attacks to be met with impunity. There must be accountability for the crimes committed against and within Ukraine. Appeasement or a lack of action would only embolden the aggressor and risk sowing instability elsewhere. Mr. President, the Nordics will continue to support Ukraine in its pursuit of a just and sustainable peace in accordance with international law and the UN Charter. The Nordic countries do not recognize spheres of influence nor territorial acquisitions through the use of force. We urge Russia to immediately cease its aggression and to comply with international humanitarian law. Russia must protect civilians and humanitarian workers, return the forcibly transferred and unlawfully deported children, and it must accept that Ukraine, like any other country, has a sovereign right to choose its own future. President, to sum up, Russia's actions demonstrate a clear lack of genuine intent to pursue peace. We must remember that this is a Russian war of choice. If President Putin so wished, he could cease the aggression and end the war tomorrow. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Sweden for the statement. There are no more names described on the list of speakers. The meeting is adjourned.